extra of war mission to do. We're playing number 6 on the chart, that is Deadlock. It means you start with 6 objectives in your hand and then it decreases as the game goes on. So here we are fighting over Orky scrap and possibly some important things for the war effort in the manufactorum. These are normally the technology department. So Orks are interested in the scrap though, it's precious stuff for the Orks. So it seems to reflect that we've got the objectives surrounding these strategic places on the battlefield. So we've got one objective just in this ruined building here, and there's one just outside this scrap heap. There's another one just beyond that scrap heap. There's one almost in the centre of the board there. There's another just outside of the manufactorum door. And the last one is just on this side of this building. So we do count this as a building. It's armour 12, a large building, so you can get in that. And these Orky scrap heaps, will count these as impassable because you wouldn't really want to go trudging through all of that muck. And it is door-to-war deployment, so it's long board edge to long board edge. So we'll get these armies ready to go. $18.50 of Orks. It's coming out of the Waaagh Ghazghkull supplement, so it's the special detachment from that book. It means all of the Orks are going to be able to war from turn 1 onwards, so that's a major boon for all the Orks. So we're using the Ghazghkull mob as the main component of the army, so leading that will be the man himself. He's a beauty, he's Gruck, Face Ripper, and he's Trusty Squig. So he is the man in charge. He's got 3 units of boys with him. These have to be full 20 strong. So we've got a mob of shooter boys. There's 2 big shooters in there. And then we've got 2 identical units. These are odd boys with a knob, with a power claw, of course. It can be the only way with odd boys. So Gruck will probably be joining himself to a unit, one of those 2. We've got a unit of knobs, just 3 of them, the bare minimum, and he's got a combi scorcher, and these will be in the belly of the Ghazghkull more than likely. So the Ghazghkull, he's got grot riggers and extra armour. Got 3 killer cans, there's 2 Ghazghkull and a big shooter. And finishing off the kill mob, there are 2 Death Dreads, and they're both armed exactly the same with lots of arms, grot riggers and extra armour. We've got some specialists now. We've got a unit of looters, and they're going to be in a truck, and that is my version of a flak truck. And then we've got mech guns. We've got the custom mega blasters. There's 2 ammo runs for the mech guns, and we also have a weird boy, an odd boy even, and he is a big mech with a shot attack gun, and he's got 3 ammo runs and hard armour, and he'll be attached to the artillery. So he's very, very volatile, but I like him. He's cool. So he will hopefully be churning out some good shots for the Orks if he feels right, if he feels the mood is good. And all of the Orks boys, except the looters and the artillery, of course, have all got fear and can re-roll the charge ranges. And Gruck, he comes with a fixed warlord trait where you can re-roll your morale within 12 of them. So it should perform okay, this one.
Okay, so here we have 1850 points worth of Chaos Space Marines drawn from the Crimson Slaughter Codex, and its mainstay is Crannon's Hellguard. There's Crannon at the front there, and Crannon has Blade of the Relentless, and he has the Demon Heart and the Slaughterer's Horns. He has a plasma pistol, as you can see, and a melter bomb, and he has the Sigil of Corruption, the Mark of Zinch, which is going to give him a 3+ invulnerable save.
Nasty.
Okay, so next to him is his compatriot there. He's Vrosh. That's all, I believe. And he's a kind of sort of champion, aspiring to be a Chaos Lord. And he has the cleaver, gives him +1 attack. And he has rage and a combi melta slung on his back there. Behind him, the Chosen, led by Drasnik, the 3-eye, and the Drasnik gives them a preferred enemy. And then we have, he's got Palmore. And then we have the rest of the Chosen there. There's an axe in there, Power Fist, Lightning Claws. And 3 Terminators over here. Just got the combi weapons and Power Fist, Hellbrute. And then we have some Raptors, 5 of them. The champion's got a Power Fist, Lightning Claw combo for multifarious tasks. And Flamer in there. And then the Land Raider, of course. 2 units of cultists. The cultists have order guns. There's a heavy stubber in there and a flamer for each squad. It's 25 in each. And over here we have 3 additional items from the Chaos Codex book. And we have a Hellbrute, a Helldrake rather, and we have a Maul Fiend, Lash of Tendrils, and a Forge Fiend with a Nectoplasma gun. Okay. So all the army has fear, part of the Crimson Slaughter special rule. The Crannon's Hellguard have the swarm of phantasms, which mean every enemy unit in 12 inches got a -1 to the leadership, and if there are 2 units within 12 inches of the enemy, they force the enemy a -1 ballistic skill.
Right, so some good debuffs against the Orks there, so they're going to take a hit on the leadership, and Crannon, he's pretty indestructible, invulnerable 3 save and a +2, 2+ armor save. It's going to be pretty rock solid. And of course we've got some demon engines, they're going to have some good firepower, so it's quite a nice force there. So it's going to be close. Both armies have fear, so they might be scared of each other, so we'll have to see how that pans out.
Yeah, or tentative bashing there.
So let's get on with it then. Okay, so the Orks arrive on the scene first. So they have spread out far and wide here, so we've got a unit of shooter boys here. They're spread out looking a lot. We've got the mech guns in this good firing position here. And we've got the shot attack gun on the top, so they're going to get a healthy cover save and a large field of fire for those damaging guns, or at least we hope they're damaging. And quite similar tactics here. We've got the 2 units of Ard boys stretched out, so there's 1 unit, there's the second in front of all of the Ork walkers, so at least they'll be getting a 5 cover save. Some things will be getting 4s because of the scrap. And the cans are supporting this flank here as we push up onto the objectives, and then the flak truck with the 12 looters in, another good firing position all the way down the battlefield. Good arcs of fire. We just got to make sure we don't get the walkers in the way. It's one of the troubles with the Orks, is everything sort of gets in the way of each other, but that's the life of an Ork. So for objectives, we're already holding this one and the one outside of the Manufactorum, and there's some in the mid-ground here. There's one just behind that scrap heap and one just in the centre of the board, so it's important to try and get on those objectives early, since you have 6 in your hand on the first turn and then go down as the game goes on. And the Crimson Slaughter have set up against the Ork attack, so they're using the cover of this building quite well. You never know what the shot attack gun is going to do, and he's in the top of that Manufactorum, so they block the line of sight. There's the Terminators, the Hellbrute, the Raptors, and even the Mauler Fiend, the Forge Fiend even. He looks like he's going to pick on those poor orcs over there, defenceless. I've got the Land Raider looking to take on some of the Orc Walkers with the las cannons, it looks like. And then we've got big units of cultists supporting the Mauler Fiend. So they've already claiming this objective here in the first turn, and the one just in front of the Forge Fiend. So equal in terms of who's controlling what. And then there's two up for grabs in the centre of the table. So the Orcs do go first, unless Crimson Slaughter can steal the initiative. So we're going to do that on a red dice.
There we go.
No, so the Orcs secure that first turn, that all important first turn. We're going to see what orders Gruk sees fit to come through for his band of green Xenos. Orcs on the move in the first turn. The flak truck has stayed still. He's going to fire up the channel here onto this Mauler Fiend. All of the Orcs on this left flank here, the cans have ran 6 inches. The Orcs ran quite far as well, can't remember, but they've been able to hold this objective 6, which is a point for the Orcs straight away. The Death Dread, he moves up as well, and Gruk and his Ard boys, they've moved up and ran just an inch, and in close support with the Gorkanaut, and the Death Dread has ran behind him to get a cover save. And these shooter boys, they've ran to get cover in from the woods, because you'd be fine through the woods, this Forge Fiend, so it'll get at least a save. So really it's all down to shooting for the Orcs. It's the mech guns and artillery and the looters. They're going to try the best, the hardest to take out the Mauler Fiend. Right, the looters are going to open fire onto the Mauler Fiend right down the channel there. It doesn't have a hard cover save, but it will have its demon save, if anything. So we're going to see what setting these guns are going to be on, if they're going to be the loudest. And that's 3 shots each. There's 12 in there, remember, so that's going to be a whopping amount of shots coming the Mauler Fiend's way. 36 shots, boom, down at the Mauler Fiend. There's been 12 hits. He's a strength 7, and the Mauler Fiend is armor 12, so needing 5s to glance. Whoa, whoa. So there's 5 pens, 3 glances to save on 5, so if you want to do the pens first, 5 pens to save on 5s. 3 go through, so it's destroyed straight away. That's first blood for the Orcs. That's a massive boon. There's a victory point again, and that's a major vehicle taken out for the Crimson Slaughter. That's going to be a massive blow on the left hand side. Alright, so we're going to open up with the shot attack gun. He's on top of the Manufactorum. He's incredibly dangerous to fire, because you might kill your own Orcs with him. But we're going to place this blast here just on the champion's head, and we're going to see what kind of Gretchen he's firing at people. Alright, so it's a 7. There's no double, so we don't have to convert the chart, so it's a strength 7 shot, and all we need to do now is hit. And he does. That's every single one of those cultists but 1. So the shot attack gun takes out 14 cultists. Brutal stuff from the shot attack gun. We've still got 2 mech guns to fire. We're going to put the first blast here. Whoops. That's a direct hit. Oh, he needs to get hot first. He doesn't get hot. The second one to get hot. He does get hot, but we're going to use an ammo run. It gets hot again, so no shot from that one. And the mech gun needs to take a save on a 3, and the mech gun takes a whole point, a wound even. But one shot does come through, and there's 4 under that template. It's strength 8, and there's 3 gone, unless you go to ground. So the mech guns complete their work, and there's only one cultist left, and he's brave. Didn't go to ground there because they're only cultists in the end. So he's got to do a morale check. He's on a 7, and he passes. He is a brave guy with a stubber, and he's going to get to retaliate on these orcs. Right, so shot attack gun gets a thumbs up. So it's 1.4 hold the line. There's 3 units here, so we've got the truck, this Death Dread, and of course the mech and his mech guns. And secure objective 6 scored by the boys over here, and first blood. So 3 points straight away in the Orcs' first turn. It's pretty good. And also assassinate was achieved because the cultist champion, he was destroyed by weaponized grot gun from the shot attack gun. So that's incredible performance from them. And 4 points. Great stuff. Alright, so there's a red tide on the move here. The Land Raider pulls forward. Cranon gets out. That's a nasty squad. And his warlord trait is hatred, so he's going to look to isolate this squad. Perhaps even kill Ghazghkull early, and that would stop the Orcs warring every turn. That would be a major blow to the Orcs. With close support from the Raptors, Chaos do need that objective twice that the Raptors are currently on. So the plan is they go into combat, beat the Orcs down, which is probably very possible, and then they consolidate back onto that objective, and that'll score 2 points. So that's what could happen in a perfect world. The Forge Fiend even, he's climbed up onto the building. He could be targeting the artillery. It's devastating stuff if it lands just right. It's AP2, the shot attack gun, for those who aren't familiar. It's a big blast, and that could just see all of this attack go down if they do defeat Crom and his unit. The red team of cultists, they've pulled around the building for a cover save. They're going to look to hold the line against all these boys here. And auto guns, that not that strong, but in 25 on 25 men, it is quite potent. I've been on the receiving end of that kind of thing before, and it's nasty. Alright, so the Dreadnought, or the Hellbrute rather, he moves on. Poor performance on a run, he only got a 1, so he's going to be slow to join the fray. And the Terminators have made their way around the building as well, so it's on to shooting for the Crimson Slaughter. The Forge Fiend is actually going to fire onto this Death Dread here. He's trying to take away the supporting unit, so there's going to be an ectoplasm cannon shot right on his face, and it would catch the Ghazghkull as well if it lands. So if you want to roll to get hot first.
Blue wants to get hot.
Right, so it doesn't get hot, and it's a direct hit, so it's pretty good. So it's a strength 8 shot. Right, the Forge Fiend has hit, and he's penetrated both vehicles. Rolled 2 6s now. It's unreal. So the Death Dread, he's got a 5 save because he's covered by the Ghazghkull. He saves the Ghazghkull. He's also got a save on a 5 because of the Orc boys in front, and he slips that one. So he's got penetration roll. It's AP2. It's a 1. It goes to 2. So he'll be snap firing in his next turn. He has got extra armor, so he will be on the move regardless. So that was... Orcs got off very light there. We thought that was going to be the end of those 2 vehicles. But there is still the Hades auto cannons to fire at the Death Dread. Hitting on 4s. It's 5 hits in there, that's pretty good.
3, 4, 5, 6.
6 hits even. Okay, so this is a strength 8. And even 4s to glance.
I'll do Demon Forge.
Right. So 3 penetrations and 4 glances in there. And then because you declared Demon Forge, you can reroll that too. Okay, still no good. So the Death Dread once again, he's going to have to take all these saves on behind the Gorgonaut. So he's saving the 3 pens on 5. He saves 2 of them, and he's got 2 glances to save on 5s. Nope, they go through. So he is destroyed. He can't blow up because it's only AP4 weapon, so he's not going to hurt any of the Orks around, but he is no more, and that will be overwhelming firepower victory point for Crimson Slaughter. So that's the first plan achieved. The Land Raider, it's open fire with a las cannon and a snap firing las cannon on the truck. It's got 2 hits and 2 pens. We'll try and ramshackle these down on 6s. No ramshackle, but he's got a hard cover save from the scrap pile. And 1 goes through.
The effect.
So the effect is a 1. That's very lucky. So it will be snap firing, and we've got to do a morale check on board, a leadership test to see if the looters are snap firing. And they are not, so they're going to be fine to fire next time. But the truck is going to snap with a rocket, so that's okay. And there's still a heavy bolter to shoot. No damage from the heavy bolters, so the Orks have got off light again there. That could have been catastrophic. 2 las cannon hits penetrating like that. And so just a few more small arms have been fired. We've got the Terminators with their combi bolters. They were able to kill 2 Orks just behind the woods there. And then 1 Ork from each hardball unit. Didn't want to fire too much from these squads because they don't extend the charge range, don't want any failed charges at this stage. It's so crucial. So just a heavy, a hand flamer, not a hand flamer, it's just an ordinary flamer, opens up and just kills an Ork there. And all of these cultists, not that great performance from the auto guns, just able to kill 1 Ork from this mob. So the crucial bit now is charge ranges for these 2 units. So it's a 6-inch charge for the Raptors. Who's going in first, in fact?
That's a 5. That was a 6 that one, wasn't it?
Right, so who's going in first?
Let's do Cran's mob first, so they need a 5.
Okay.
Just
So they get in and the Raptors charge.
And then the Raptors,
they get in on a 7. So charges look good. We're going to resolve some Overwatch at Crannon's unit. So all charges have been made now. There's no damage in the Overwatch from the Orc shooting, and a challenge has been issued from Crannon, and Gruk will accept. So this is going to be a really tough fight here. Crannon's got an invulnerable 3 save. He's got a better weapon skill, and he's got hatred because of a warlord trait. Gruk has got feel no pain. He's going to have to cross his metal fingers there to come through this one. So the Orcs are going to have to brace for this whirlwind of death here. So first things first, before any blows are struck, the Orcs have to do a fear test with a -1 because they're within 12 inches of 2 units from Crannon's Hellguard, and Crimson Slaughter have fear. So we'll do a fear test. It's -1. Gruk is leadership 9, so we're looking for an 8 here. It's a 9, so they failed, so this fear is kicked in, but Crannon, sorry, not Crannon, but the Raptors, they have to do a fear test because the Goth mob also have fear, so they're on a 9. And they pass. So went from bad to worse for this this Odd Boy squad. So Crannon's got 6 attacks, and he hits them all. And he's wounding on 4s because he's got Furious Charge against Gruk. Right, so just 3. Gruk might see himself through here. He's got Feel No Pains against this.
Preferred enemy.
Oh yes, you've got Preferred Enemy because of the old hardback. Right, so there is 5 wounds in total, so that will be the death of Gruk, I think. Unless he rolls close to that, but no, 3 wounds, Gruk has died. And then it's going to just be absolute slaughter for the rest of the boys. Okay, so as predicted, it's total wipeout for the Orcs. Having fear go against them just seals the rest of the Orcs' fate. and not Crom, it's Crannan rolling so high against Gruk. There's no way he was going to put up with that. And unfortunately Gruk's Warlord trait does not allow you to re-roll against fear tests, so that was basically the death knell of the entire unit. So they have achieved a Warlord kill and secure objective 5 twice. And what else? Hold the line.
Hold the line, overwhelming firepower.
Overwhelming firepower and no prisoners. So it's a massive score for the Crimson Slaughter on their first turn. Massive score. So after an unfortunate turn for the Orks, being on the receiving end of that, they've had to come up with the best plans without Gruk. So the knobs have came out of the belly of the Ghazghkull. There's a Scorcher in there. He's going to look to try and take Crannan down, and then the looters, they might add their firepower. The Ghazghkull itself is going to just see how all the shooting goes, and he might pick a target to assault himself. The artillery, who knows what they're going to do, and the Ork boys here have moved over to this direction to try and take on the Raptors, so just trying to crush the attack in the centre for the Orks. It's going to be really hard for the Orks now without being able to Waaagh every turn. These boys are going to have to try a mammoth charge. I think he's within 6 to the cultist, so that's going to have to be their best option. So it's going to be extended to an 8-inch charge because they're going to be moving through cover, and then the cans are going to try and put the Ghazghkull, their blasts on the cultists, just to try and thin them down a bit. And for objective wise, there's 5 orders came through, but not that good for the Orks for what they're going to be able to achieve this turn. So it's all just going to be down to damage and how much can they achieve. The flak truck is opened up onto Crannan and his unit. They've achieved 8 wounds, so how are you going to distribute these?
So we'll do 8 lookout sirs.
8 lookout sirs.
Dare risk this.
Okay, so they've all been lookout sirs, and then another 4, because there's 8. So 2 Crannan has to take.
So 2 for Crannan on a 2.
So he takes a single wound, and then there's 6 wounds on the rest of the Chosen. 7 on 3s.
7 on 3s.
Okay, there's 2 gone. So there's the Power Fist and the Lightning Claws. So still has the man with preferred enemy. He is still in the game. Right, so that's okay. Going from the looters. The shooter boys over here only managed to kill 1 raptor. Not very good from them. And we're just trying to see where the rest of the shots are going to come from. We don't really want to open up with the mech guns so close to the Ghazghkull, but we feel that we might have to. So we're going to let the Ghazghkull fire and see what he can achieve. The Ghazghkull fires on Crannan's unit, so it's down to just Crannan left. He's already got a wound, so he's got 2 left, and hopefully the Ghazghkull can make a short charge there. And the Crannan has got a melter bomb, so he's not defenceless when that charge comes to pass. But the mech guns are going to have to risk it. They're going to fire on the Raptors because they don't want those coming in on us the next turn. So we're going to fire 2 mech guns. We're going to put the blasts just here, so we'll get 2. So the one without the ammo runt is going to roll to see if it gets hot. It doesn't. So does it land where we want? And it does. Perfect. The second one with the ammo runt. Does he get hot? He does. He's going to use the ammo runt. And he doesn't get hot on the reroll. So, right, because he's used his ammo runt, it's still in effect. And that is going to go 2 inches. So we'll get that measured up, see if there's even a hit. Right, so just having a look at the rules for the ammo runt here. And it's open for debate. It says an ammo runt gives you a reroll to hit. So I mean, I would class that as a twin-linked shot, but it's not necessarily that. So would you get a reroll just the gets hot roll and the scatter, or would you just get a reroll one or the other? So we're just going to count that as a miss. So there's just 2 hit by the first shot, and just 1 dies. So 1 raptor down, and then there's an armor save to make on the mech gun that got hot. So saves, so the mech gun is unharmed, but there's still the shot attack gun to go. So the first raptor is down, so it'll be the flamer luckily. And what's strength of the shot attack gun? So we're going to place that on the power claw head, on his head. So the strength is going to be a 9. So I don't think there's going to be any backlash from that. So he's going to place it there. So what is the scatter going to be? Okay, that's going to be a bit of a miss. He's going to use an ammo runt because he's got 3, and that's going to be an even bigger miss. So it's just not going well for the Orks at all here. Okay, so the grots are the best shots in the Ork army usually, but they're scattering here, there and everywhere. So only 2 cultists die to the Ghazghkull. There's 4 small blasts between them, strength 6, and that's all they can muster. It's just not a good round for the Orks here, and the pistols from the Orks don't hurt either, so they're going to have to hope on a charge before the Helldrake turns up. And there's just a charge here for the Gorkanaut, so he's going to see what range he can get there. And a 7, that should do it, so he's going to be locked in mortal combat with a man with an invulnerable 3 with a melter bomb. Right, so the Gorkanaut makes short work of Cranham. He's just killed by the Hammer of Wrath. It is at strength 8, so Cranham is gone. That's a victory point for the Orks for slaying the Warlord. So it's the best bit of the turn there for the Orks, and they get secure objective. No, I don't think they get any secure objectives. There's just 1 more charge to do here, and if they can make that, then they could possibly take that objective that the cultists are holding. Right, the Death Dread's going to try charge first. He's got a 9-inch charge to make through cover. If he can make it, he's going to accept all of that Overwatch before the boys get in. So here we go. He's in the Goth Kill Mob, so he can re-roll charge ranges. So that is a 9. He's in, he's made it, he's done his job. So the Orks, they're going to need an 8 to get in after him. And again, they can re-roll their charge ranges. They've got to re-go. Right, so they're in on a 9, so both squads are in. The luck could be turning for the Orks here. It's been terrible in the last couple of phases, so this could be the turnaround point here, trying to achieve and wrestle that barrel from these cultists. Right, so the Orks are fully in. The cultists fight first, and it turns out that they're both scared of each other because they both have the fear special rule, and the Orks are with a -1 because there's 2 units in proximity. So it's just so hard for the Orks, and there's been 5 wounds dealt out onto the hard boys, so they've got saves of 4. It's a good roll. 2 Orks die, and because they're scared, they're only hitting these cultists on a 4. They would be hitting them on 3s otherwise, but because they're scared, it's cancelled each other out, and they're both hitting on 4s because they're counted as weapon skill 1 each. So let's get these choppers ready to go, and we'll hack ourselves some humans down. Okay, so the Orks do get in, and they do get what they want. So it's a wipeout. It came down to the very last roll for the very last cultist, so had just the right amount of attacks there. The Dread did contribute, everyone contributed, and it's now the free to secure this objective. That's what we're trying to say. So that is going to be a further victory point for the Orks, but the real concern is there could be a Helldrake coming on next turn, so we're going to try and need a fan out, because these are most likely going to be the victims of such a attack. So we're going to have to fan these out. Consolidations for the Orks were good. We've got 6 with the boys, so we've fanned out as much as we can. And the Dreadnought, he gets to go back 5 inches, so he's slunk back into the building trying to get a cover save, because there's a lot of anti-tank guns here. The Ghazghkull, he only manages a 3, so he takes a step back just to put himself out of range of a melter shot on double dice from the Hellbrute, because he will move forward 6 no doubt, and he'll want to take that out next turn. So it went from looking like a terrible round for the Orks there to becoming quite fruitful, being able to achieve this objective, kill the Warlord, and what was the other objective? It was slay units in combat. So there we go, there's 3 points. The Cultists was slain in the combat, as was the Warlord. As there's 3 points for the Orks. Picked up some points from what seemed to be the ashes of despair. Our Crimson Slaughter in their turn 2 now. It's been such a brutal game, there's only been 2 turns. The Land Raider just came back, and the Terminators went toward, and they've picked them up, so there's 3 Terminators on board that now. The Raptors, they've lunged forward. They're going to try and take out the Gretchen artillery. It should be an easy task to achieve, and this Dreadnought is on his way. I think he's trying to mount a charge probably on the Ork boys and beat them back. It's possible, could happen. And the Land Raider is going to try and achieve the order for Big Game Hunter and take out the truck. It's already got a hull point. There's a las cannon, full ballistic skill, and then there's a snapfire and heavy bolter, because the other one is blocked by the Dreadnought. So possibilities for points here for Crimson Slaughter. It's up to the Orks to get some decent saves for cover, and this combat is just going to be a pushover for them. So if they can achieve that, that's also going to be supremacy, so it's quite important the kills come forth for the Crimson Slaughter. Right, so shooting phase is complete for Crimson Slaughter, and not so good from the Land Raider. Doesn't achieve anything on the truck. It gets its save and only would have achieved a hull point if he didn't save. So that's good work from the truck. That's been a pivotal unit for the Orks with all the def guns in. Very proud of them. And then the Forge Fiend, he fires all of his nasty strength 8 shots at the knobs and insta-kills all of them, but a stray shot from the ectoplasm cannon lands on the Ghazghkull and causes a hull point. So he's taking a hull point. He's got Grot Riggers, he might get that back. He's in no man's land at the moment. He's best hope that he can do something next turn.
You took a wound from Demon Forge.
Yes, we forgot to roll for the Demon Forge hull point, and he actually took one himself, so there's 2 to go on him, and then he's out of the Orcs' lives forever. And the Dreadnought, the Hellbrute even, he fired through the building onto the Death Dread here, but he got his save, so that is all good there. So there's just the charge to make for these Raptors. This is crucial. If they can get in there and grind these Orks up, and Gretchen mostly, then that will be supremacy, so that's huge points there potentially. Crimson Slaughter with their assault phase, the Raptors go in and just easily butcher the artillery, and the knob goes down with ease. So they are on this objective outside of the door here, and they've slinked into the shadows, and they're going to achieve supremacy for Crimson Slaughter. So it's a D3 for that one, and it's 2, so that's pretty good. 2 victory points in that turn. The Orks are going to need to pull out something special here. The Helldrake, I forgot to mention, if you've noticed, it hasn't arrived, so that was a big load off for the Orks. They needed it, and Crimson Slaughter, I think it's neck and neck at the moment. So here we'll go. Orks, turn 3. Orks turn 3 now. These odd boys have moved out. They're going to try charge on the Land Raider. We've still got a Power Claw in there. He's going to be strength 9. It's the best chance we've got to taking out that Land Raider. And if we get a really good charge, we'll possibly wrap around it and destroy the unit inside. So that's our hopeful Orky thoughts there. The Death Dread's going to stay in cover, and he can't afford to just risk a failed charge. And even if he did, you don't really want to go in against the Hellbrute when you go on last. He's got a lot of attacks, but he doesn't like a fair fight, so he's staying in the corner of the build. The Cans, they've moved 6 and then around 6, so they've spread out across 2 objectives. So they're going to make a nuisance of themselves in the backfield. And the Ghazghkull, he's moved up the hill. He's going to try and take this objective back off these raptors, so he might mount a charge of his own, and then he's supported by the shooter boys. The flak truck is going to shoot at this Forge Fiend, and if they do destroy it, then that will be big game hunter, so there's some points up for grabs here if the Orks can find an interest in shooting things. So the looters are very enthused by the little pep talk there, and firing on full 3 shots each, so they've got an astonishing amount of hits. They've got 13 hits for an Ork. It's amazing. It's armor 12 against strength 7 guns, so we're going to try and take that out, so needing 5s to glance. Okay, that was not as impressive. So there's 1 glance, 1 pen. So the Mauler Fiend, you have to check the cover saves here. So after a critical round of shooting from the flak tank, only got 1 glance and 1 pen, so we're going to save these on 4. So glance first, saves on the pen, goes through in fact, so we're going to see the damage. It's a 4, he ignores that on a 2 because he's a demon vehicle. Oh, crucial, absolutely crucial. So he's snap firing, he's got an extra hull point, but really wish those looters could have just knocked that out. That would have been a victory point there. So it's going to be up to the Power Claw to try and get big game hunter. So still more to shoot. Excellent performance from the shooter boys here. They're able to kill the 3 raptors inside the building, which frees up the Ghazghkull to run. So he's span round and he's going to hold this objective, which is crucial. That's another point for the Orks, and he is presenting his front armour now. And the Grot Rigger's repaired his hull point, so he's feeling good about himself now. And there's just this charge with all the boys on the Land Raider. So the odd boys make it in on a mega charge. It's still not far enough, even with a pile-in move. So they're still a way for the Terminators to get out, and that's providing that the Power Claw smashes the side of this Land Raider in. So they're in, that's the easy part. Now for the hard part. Okay, so here's the fear rule coming into play again. The Land Raider itself has fear, so the Orks are going to -1 to their fear test because they're again within 12 of 2 units from the Hell Guard. So these are on leadership 6, and it's a fail, so they're going to be scared. So you count them as weapon skill 1, but the vehicle is weapon skill 1 also. So he's hitting on 4s of these Power Claw. So that's devastating news. But he's good enough anyway. He's got 3 hits. He's a strength 9 on the charge. Go on. There's a pen on a 6 and a glance. So we're going to see what the pen is. Oh, it fell off the table. 4 goes to 5. That's a weapon destroys. It's not perfect for the one that we want, so we'll find out which weapon gets ripped off. So it's the left hand side las cannon that gets wrecked, and the Terminators inside, they're still on full ballistic skill because they've passed their leadership test. So still the old big game hunter still eludes the Orks, but they have got a point for being on objective 4. And there's another point for no prisoners because we destroyed the Raptor unit. So there's 2 points. It's very welcome for the Orks. Still, big game hunter would have been nice. So it's on to Crimson Slaughter's next turn. Surely the Helldrake should arrive. So the Helldrake finally turns up, and this Land Raider moves back, freeing up some shots for Flamer from the Helldrake. Is the Hellbrute got the Flamer? Heavy Flamer?
Yeah.
So Flames of Death coming in. The Land Raider backs up, causes a tank shock on the mob. It's not mob's mob, it's just he's in charge of the mob. So they take, and he made sure he was, because they failed the morale, because they've taken -1 to the leadership. Breaking heads rule, and 4 orcs died of that, but they hold, and then they're going to die for it. So it's lots of flames, lots of death, and the Mauler Fiend, it's a Forge Fiend even, he climbs down from his perch, and he's looking to snap fire at these orcs probably. So we're going to get the flames going and get them nice and hot and melt some orcs into slag. Right, so the devastation is complete. Loads of orcs, can't even begin to tell you how many have died, but that's how many's left, and a wound on the knob, so they're going to have to take a morale check. That's all the punishment from those, including the Helldrake. And the Mauler Fiend snap fires at the orcs, gets 2 hits and 2 kills, and then they're going to be pinned from that pinning weapon, so that's not ideal whatsoever for the orcs. The las cannon from the Land Raider that fired through onto the truck only achieved a glance, and then it was saved anyway, so that truck is purely blessed. It's been the best unit so far in the orcs. And now it's a morale check on a 6, because again that fear rule with Crimson Slaughter special rule creeping in is just crap for the orcs. So they fail morale, so it's a breaking heads rule. 2, you've got a +2 for the chart. There is a knob in there, so he will break heads. So how many? Just 1. Wounds on a 4. No wounds, so nobody goes down to breaking heads. So they're going to stand. So it's going to be assault here. The Terminator's kind of salt and soak in the Hellbrute, so it's going to be pretty brutal. Alright, so it's a wipeout for those squads. The Power Claw did get the go, and he did get 2 hits, but 2 saves on a 6 for the Terminators. They were blessed, so they're gone. And Crimson Slaughter on the march now. Only 1 objective achieved there. It was recon, because all objectives have been discovered. So it's starting to fizzle out on points for both sides. Big points scored in the early turns, but now it's getting down to the crunch. So losing that 20 boy squad just like that is painful as ever, and it's up to the Orks to try and see what orders come through for them next turn. For the Orks, they're going to still need to take Big Game Hunter. So the Ghazghkull he's moved into position to try and see the last hull point from this Forge Fiend. He just might fire at the Helldrake if needs be, but failing that, we've got the flak truck with all the looters in. Depends, we might go for the Dreadnought. He's the easier kill, but the Helldrake needs to go if we want to survive. And the Death Dread, he's moved out and he's ran a little bit. He's securing this objective, but more importantly, he is achieving behind enemy lines. So there's 1 point for the Orks for sure, and then it's all about firepower now. This Ork unit is still pinned, they're down to the ground, and this unit of cans, they've just moved back a little bit, but still close enough to that objective should it need achieving. So can the Ghazghkull fulfill his points cost? We'll find out. So Orc shooting phase just wasn't great at all. The Ghazghkull just didn't do anything. He's on his last hull point, this Forge Fiend. Didn't do anything. The flak truck shoots at the Hellbrute, not enough shots to being produced to take them down, so just a hull point. So still no big game hunter. We've had that for too many turns now, and it just eludes us at every turn. And luckily this Death Dread, he's dipped his toe into the deployment zone, so that will be a single point for behind enemy lines. So coming away with something, but it's getting frustrating now, that big game hunter. So the Crimson Slaughter are on the move now. So the Helldrake, he's turned and decided he wants to burn down those Ork boys behind the hill, just on the hill rather. This Mauler Fiend, he's stepped back, he's going to put some shots on the cans, so is the last cannon from this tank, and this crazed result, he gets to shoot twice, so it's the worst possible outcome for the Orks. It's got a lot of firepower, it just needs to take out one can, and that is Big Game Hunter. So just shoving that in the Ork's face there, being able to achieve that so easily. So it's on to shooting, and surely it's going to be a victory point here for them. Right, Crimson Slaughter have achieved Big Game Hunter, the Mauler Fiend, it's a Forge Fiend even, he's the one who deserves the accolades. Kills a single can, although it's a unit, it's still a vehicle destroyed, that's all it says, so that is gone from existence, and the last cannon fires at the Death Dread and misses. The Helldrake, he kills 5 Orks, so they're going to need to do a morale check. They're on full morale because they're not within 12 of any Crimson Slaughter this time, so need a 7 to pass, and they do, so they're still going to hold brave Orks. Right, so the Hellbrute also missed, and he fired at the can as well, so still a victory point for Crimson Slaughter, even if the shooting wasn't as good as they thought it was going to be, but it was still enough. Not a lot of movement from the Orks on turn 5. The flak truck is staying where it is. It's going to have a second chance at taking out the Hellbrute, and if it does that, it will be Big Game Hunter, dare we say. The Orks luckily achieved this objective already, so this is one victory point already in the bag. Much needed, we're very pleased about that. And Death Dread is staying there on that objective just in case, and that will be line breaker if he continues on his survival mission. The Orks have moved over the hill. They're going to put 2 big shooters on the last remaining cultist. Why? We don't know, they just think it'll be funny. And the Ghazghkull will have his revenge on this Forge Fiend. So he's got his shots lined up. Just going to shoot under the Helldrake. We're just going to ignore the Helldrake from this point on because he's just impossible to kill. Right, so Big Game Hunter, will it happen? Come on, looters. Let's get loads of shots. 2. It's better than the last time. We'll take it. We'll take it. Okay, tense moment from the looters there. Not great shooting, but the shots that they did put on were enough, so that is history. That is Big Game Hunter. We're so pleased about that. And then we've got the Ghazghkull. He is going to try and finish off the other demon engine around here. So we've got 2 shots from the rockets. There is no hard cover from this. There is a hit from the rocket. Needing better than that. That's not good enough. And then we're going to do the Deathstorm Mega Shooter. You will get 4+ saves from this. So there's going to be 10 shots. Strength 6. We're going to see what we can do. So not enough from the Ghazghkull to take out the keep on calling it Maul Fiend, it's a Forge Fiend. He must have been distracted by the Helldrake flying in his face. He's been trying to swat it with his big claw. So that is still 2 victory points for the Orks in that turn. That's objective where the cans are, and of course Big Game Hunter, very very pleased with that one. So it's now Crimson Slaughter in their 5th turn. They're going to need some, there should be 2 objectives to achieve, and they need to be good ones. Right, so it is Crimson Slaughter on turn 5, and the Maul, done it again, it's not a Maul Fiend, it's a Forge Fiend. He is going to try and shoot down the Ghazghkull. The Helldrake has went into hover mode and went flat out into the corner to try and get Line Breaker, and this las cannon from this Land Raider is going to try and block Line Breaker from this Death Dread. He's behind hard cover, so it's going to be a hard ask. So who is going to be firing first?
So he's going to fire first?
Okay, at the Ghazghkull. He has 4 hits. Strength 8 against armor 13. It's pretty good.
Ooh, 3.
There's
got a penetrate, isn't it? 2 glances.
2 glances and a pen, so what's the damage on the pen? Is a 1, so he's going to be snap firing. But he has got a lot of hull points of Ghazghkull, so he's going to hang in there. He's got 3. He did repair 1 from the last couple of turns, so he's not going to go. He's going to be hanging on. Right, he's got a Land Raider. He's going to fire the las cannon at this line breaking Death Dread. So he's hitting on a 3. So it's a hit. That's another 1. That's every time he's fired that las cannon. It's been a 1. That's how that flak truck is still alive. So terrible news for Crimson Slaughter in that turn, but there's a line breaker possibly in the bank if the game doesn't end now. It's turn 5, so on a 3 it continues. It's going to continue. That's good news for Crimson Slaughter. I think they're behind, maybe it's a point or 2. So it's on to the Orks, turn 6. Okay, so we were going to go on until the Orks pulled Ascendancy, and that's, you need to get on 3 objectives and you get D3. So already it would have been next to impossible, probably impossible, for Crimson Slaughter to come back from this point anyway, and with the Orks achieving that objective, or soon to be achieving, it would have just been definitely impossible. So that would have been the Death Dread holding that objective, the cans holding this one, and then the Orks would have run over here and got this one, so that would have been an extra D3. The Crimson Slaughter have chosen to call it a day there, and it's fair enough. So that is quite a battle, very punishing for both sides there. Both sides losing the Warlord early in the centre, massive clash in the middle, pretty good. But as the game winds down, so does the opportunities for objectives. So you've got to get out there, and you've got to get out there fast, and that's something that the Orks are good at. So there we go. It was the debut for the Crimson Slaughter, so still a little bit of learning to do with that army, but it was good to see the fear rules and how that formation actually works, because you've got a few units in the Crimson Slaughter, you don't expect a lot of them to be around at the same time, but that was the case. So it really punished the Orks on the fear test, so they weren't as potent when they got in these combats where they needed to get. So it was good seeing those rules play out, and I think unit of the game for the Orks, it's got to go to the looters in the flak truck. They just continued to fire all game, and they did some very, very important work. And I would say, what would you say would be for the Crimson Slaughter?
Oh, I'd say,
I think the Raptors did well. They did. They got 2 objectives in the centre there. They contributed to that combat and helped kill the Warlord squad.
yeah.
And then moved on to this objective, scored another one, and took out the artillery. So they did very well, I think.
In terms of mileage, yeah, they did the work.
And the armament that they've got with the Power Fist and Lightning Claw is pretty good, because although you might not use the Power Fist, it's still threatening to vehicles that might be around, and it gives you options. So I think that was probably the best unit for the Crimson Slaughter. And yeah, that was a pretty close game, very tense in the middle there in turns 2 and 3 for the Orks. and looks like I could have went either way at certain points.